welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. You will immediately be noticing a massive thing. So I hope everything is translating well. Of course, as I told you last time, I was gonna upgrade the camera. The new camera, the new phone is incredible in general. But with the restrictions of StreamYard, I don't know how much that is translating. As far as I can see, the lighting is much better, and everything is running way, way smoother. So yeah, uh, new setup. A mic will follow, of course. That was always the next thing in line. But if this, if the start of this setup is running as smoothly as I can see that it is, and if you like the camera like this, we leave it like this, honestly. Uh, and if you all want any changes, do let me know in the comments, even if you're watching after. I I usually tend to say that um, if you're watching on YouTube, so for whoever is listening to Spotify, I think that if you haven't noticed, I always upload the videos there as well. So if you want to check anything out, to see anything on the video, you don't have to go all the way to YouTube. You can just check it out on Spotify immediately. Like the some stuff we're gonna talk about and show today. I did start few minutes early, so the notification maybe is probably gonna go out to everyone now. I just wanted to say if everything that I have set up is working well, both camera, both uh, the new sound connection, and mostly if everything is running as smoothly as planned. So yeah, tweaks are gonna happen, of course, as with every time a new setup is being implemented. That's why I did ask for all of you to drop any tweaks you think may be needed. But I'm happy with how everything's looking, honestly, and I'm more than happy with the difference from before. Of course, the weirder thing is how wide this camera is. I didn't expect it to be as wide, but honestly, I don't think I mind it as much given on everything else it is. It's upgrading on. So yeah, I maybe won't have to ask you all every 5 minutes to tell me if everything's working fine. No, maybe that's how everything can go for start at least. So yeah, that was the main personal news of of it all. Once again, I I massively appreciate the interest because even after last show, a lot of you messaged me and said that you hope everything is going well personally, and I appreciate that a lot. And as I have kept you all updated, and you all, at least a lot of you, have shown me that you do care. just want to take a second and say that everything that was severely wrong is going much, much better now. And if it's going as it looks, it's gonna keep going better and better. So I really appreciate you all sticking by me for a very rough week and a half. But as with everything, you all know that I I make sure to overcome it and give you all the best. If anything changes, of course I'll keep you all updated. But just know, because I know that there is a lot of you listening that care, everything is much, much better. Now, let's get into football, shall we? Of course, this is episode 2 of Transfer Chatter. Technically, this is episode 90 something of the show, but this is episode 2 of Transfer Chatter. I should have fixed that, but yeah, that's detail that doesn't matter. It's on the thumbnail. And of course, as the title says, we are going to be talking about. Uh, honestly, I've been seeing a lot of things on this match pronunciation, and I have been saying Scipioni, uh, but as I have seen and slowly started to realize, I'm pretty sure it is Scipioni, so I will try to fix that, but apologies if I keep saying Scipioni. It's a force of habit. But yeah, talking about Olympiacos and the newest move, uh, the young Argentinian wonder kid, honestly, I think, as much as that word gets thrown around, more or less, I think it's bang on as a description of Scipioni, and honestly, the very unique characteristics of the player and the very unique style of the player. But because as I said, I think I said this last show, when you talk about Olympiacos and transfers, it won't always be positive. I want to open a parenthesis before I fully get into the talks about Scipioni, and that's this. Uh, about an hour or so before I started, news came out that Olympiacos are preparing for the sale of Christos Mouzakidis. The news haven't been confirmed by anyone. The news haven't been honestly the most reliable, but I am in no way saying that I am in a position to say that these news are true. But I did have to touch on them, and I did have to touch on them for a reason and a reason alone. I want to take those news and to talk about something that I have already talked about multiple times, especially in the last few shows that were solely transfer shows about Olympiacos FC. Selling both of the biggest talents we've produced in years and years on in the same transfer window is not only false in an on-field perspective, in my opinion, but it's false and honestly up to a point detrimental in the way that it hurts you in so many ways. yes, you get a massive budget boost. Of course, the money that we got for Babis Kostulas, as underwhelming as it was comparatively to everything that has been said, I am very happy for this comment. I am more than glad that the quality is transitioning as I am seeing and as I wanted. And I hope that it's running as smoothly as I am seeing that it is, and I hope that the sound is a bit better as well. Even though, as I said at the start of the show, I am aiming for a microphone now, an actual proper microphone. But yeah, as I was saying, in hindsight, the money we got for Babis is a lot of money, even though it was underwhelming compared to what we were pricing him uh, at and what we thought he was worth. But even if you do get an insane amount of money for Muzakidis, and we already have rejected an offer of around 20 million, and they have said that clubs are going to keep coming and coming and coming. And it seems like the next major threat for Muzakidis is Atletico Madrid, Simeone's Atletico Madrid, which we know how crucial Madrid has been for the rise in a lot of the world's best midfielders. As much as Atletico is detrimental for a lot of attackers, we know how incredible Atletico Madrid has been as a destination for a lot of midfielders. And it's not just Atletico; it's the two Milan clubs, as we were saying. I am back. Okay, stuff happens with new setups. I am now realizing that we might have a slight issue. Um, do let me know if everything is running as smoothly as before. I'll give it a second to catch back up. Um, but yeah, I didn't think about this. Uh, as it seems, a lot of you know that I am recording with my phone, and this is a new phone. That's why the quality is as good as it is. But I just realized that with recording, overheating can come with the insane heat that is happening. So when this phone overheats even the slightest, it shuts off the current apps and goes into airplane mode, which is interesting. So I am hoping that what I did fixed it, and I'm hoping that this is a one-time thing. Do let me know if everything is running smoothly, and do let me know if I need to fix anything, if everything is running as it was before. To be honest, I probably should have cooled down this room a bit, but yeah. Also, if possible, do let me know if everything up until when I was heard, so I can continue. I am going to guess that everything is running smoothly. This got me very unexpected, but this happens a lot in live shows, so you will excuse me. That's why I said I don't know what may go wrong with these new connections and the setup. Uh, I'm hoping it's all running as well as it was before. Okay, I'll I'll pick it back up and continue. As I was saying, it's it's not only detrimental for you to lose uh, your two best wonder kids in the same exact uh, season, especially weeks apart. It's not detrimental just on the field; it's detrimental off the field as well. It's Europe for a start. The least in Europe, it's it's gonna be more than very hard for for us to fill out at least, especially if Mouzakitis goes as well. It's, as I said, it's the on-field factor. You're losing one of your own talents, one of your own stars that will give 1,000%, not 110, 1,000% every time he plays. Uh, you are losing perhaps positives that aren't replaceable on the market right now. Uh, it's it's also insane to me. It's also ungraspable, if that makes sense to me, that some people are so comfortable with saying that, yeah, everyone's replaceable, everyone's sellable. It was said for Chiquinho, and it was said for Mouzakitis as well. I don't get how people don't want to keep some of the most vital and proven to be successful players in this entire squad. I don't get how people don't want to uh, don't want to understand that not everyone can, not everyone can, everyone does have a price, but not everyone should be bought out. There isn't a pure replacement for each and every player, especially when you're talking about your own. So I'm severely hoping that the news are false, but uh, I will keep you all updated like usual. So, after that very scary error, let's move on to the main thing of this of the show. And honestly, we went, we are going from negatives to extreme positives, as honestly, I couldn't be happier with such an addition. It's such a big positive for um, such a big positive for the club, such a great addition for the midfield, and it's such a detrimental, not detrimental, it's such a statement for all the work, the correct work, and the ways we have fixed said work on the scouting department. It's the turnaround in that department of the club has been insane. Of course, as I said earlier on in the show, Scipioni is set to arrive as early as this weekend. So, in the next 2 days. And Scipioni did say a very special goodbye to his club yesterday, to Tigre, uh, in an MVP performance, getting man of the match. He was first in recoveries, getting 8. He was first in duels won, getting 16 out of 17. He was first in passes to the opposition half, getting 15. He was first in completed passes, getting 30. He was first in completed tackles with 4 out of 4. Okay, I'm glad everything is and has been running smoothly ever since the error. I hope everything has been running smoothly ever since I came back for the error. And he was first in completed dribbles, which is very surprising for the position that the kid's playing at with 4 out of 4 as well. Man of the match, clearly, and the most important thing of yesterday is that the man scored, and he scored an incredible goal, which I'm about to show you now, even though you probably have seen it, but I am about to show you now if you haven't. Of course, it's a very scrappy goal. It's a deflection of a corner, but even the way that Scipioni strikes it, it's just such such a classic volley from just a pure out and out CDM. Of course, a strike that's uncatchable, that's off the post and in. And added with the insane man of the match performance. He gave his team, he said, a very emotional goodbye with being a vital part of his team's win 2-0 in the cup. Now, I've said it in the title, I've said it in my posts, the thumbnail has it, and I'll say it again. We're talking about a six, an out and out pure six. He can't play further up, but he is a six. He is an old school CDM that honestly can terrify a defender. Let me actually bring up the the stat list that I had brought up. Um, give me a second here. It should load in quite fast. There it is. This is something I had brought up a couple of shows ago when we first talked about Lorenzo Scipioni. He's a CDM that's big relatively. The man is 181. Right-footed everywhere on the heat map, and honestly, he is that scary type of six. That six that you're not comfortable in taking on one because you know that one way or another he is gonna take the ball from your feet. It's not just the incredible defending that he's capable of producing, but a major positive of Lorenzo Scipioni, in my opinion at least, is his composure. His honestly very surprising composure, given that he is a 20-year-old. He's 1 year younger than I am. And another positive that this man has is that his first pass on the build up to send the ball up, as I said, he was first in passes to the opposing half with 15. His vision in his first pass is amazing, especially again comparative to where he plays. He may have a slight weakness in long balls, but the vision he possesses for immediate passes forward is honestly so incredible to see. And in that way, he does remind me of Santiago Hezze. In that way, the comparison is more than justified enough. Another thing that is a huge positive in Scipioni's side is that his dribbling is so mesmerizing at point. It's all added up from the base of his composure, but it's not only how he helps in the back, but his transitional role, his, dare I say, anchor role in the midfield is something that will prove vital, in my opinion, and that will make him a fan favorite as well very quickly. So, in addition to his very composed defense, his vision and his dribbling comes only to add to that as an incredible bonus. Of course, on his stats here, his performance index compared to the players in the same position, so basically to the CDMs, his defensive and offensive performance. Of course, this is a bit old. I'll go to the updated stats in a bit, but as I had focused last time, I want to focus on the defensive statistics here. We saw how how dominant, uh, how dominant of a six he he truly is, uh, and and honestly, how much I can't wait to to see him come in, and how glad I am about us getting this year done, especially given our competition was Benfica. And another very positive thing that I personally have managed to pick out is something I pick out in a lot of players, and something that won't ever truly show statistically, and that is passion. Even from the simple thing of his celebration from the goal, to the way he plays, to the emotional goodbye, to his highlights in general, you'll see that he's a player that bleeds for the part that he plays and loves, that gives it all, similar to what I was saying regarding Musakitis earlier. But what brings me to put so much spotlight on the point that he's a player with a very youthful, star-like passion and such an old school, vital style is that he wanted to come here. Let's not undermine that. We're talking about a player that wanted to come here. In no way did he back out of the deal. In no way did reports ever say another thing. In no way did reports say that he ever agreed with Musica. And the final reports that came out is that the player wanted Piraeus and only Piraeus. Of course, we are a very, very popular and good gateway to Europe. And I'm sure that Francisco Ortega and Santiago Hezze both played a very, very crucial role to this deal. But I honestly am more than positive in seeing the will to play for the club alone. And added to that, everything that yesterday's performance showed us, which shows that he is coming here with amazing momentum, the fact that we got the deal done early, and the stats in general. And speaking of stats, let me actually hop on to the second screen I have prepared because I want to read off some stuff. This may take a quick little second, but I'll fix it up real fast. Let me fix it up properly, actually. There we go. Everything should be fine and visible. If I am in the way, let me actually, if I'm in the way, do let me know, and I'll minimize the camera as needs be. But yeah, you can see, of course, everything here. Nationality, age, height, and that he's right-footed, his consistency, and then the amazing performance yesterday. His strengths and weaknesses, of course, I did mention the relative weakness that I also thought was there, which is the long balls, not the progressive passes, the long balls. But yeah, as I said, the very first strength that is pointed out is tackling. Going back to the point that I made of the player getting the ball no matter what, positioning, which I didn't really mention, but positioning is something that in the minimal, because I'm not going to say that I didn't know this player before we were interested in him, up until I dove into research everything. The very minimal things that I have seen game was, I don't think I've ever seen him get his position wrong. Even trackbacks, even just moving up as he's needed. He's a very coach-following player, which of course Mendilibar will love. And even in the pressing, he performs incredibly and is, if not 100% of the time, 99% of the time, exactly what he needs to do. And of course, as we said from yesterday's performance specifically as well, ground duels and duels won in general, it's a player that won't let you pass. Of course, this year, the Copa Argentina and the Liga Profesional, the football, 2 goals. You have way more advanced heat map here with, of course, the focus being right here where you would expect the focus to be, just covering the absolute entirety of of the field. He played 16 games, uh, with his latest game, as we said, being the 2-0 win, where he gave his team the lead in the 30th minute with uh, an incredible goal and a man of the match performance. This is his stats for the league. For a start, as I said, 16 matches in the league, about as close as you can get to 90 minutes per game, with a very impressive amount of minutes played, with a goal in the league, scored 0.1 goals per game, 0.6 shots per game, 0.2 shots on target, missed one big chance with a goal conversion being 10%. Uh, his passing, no assists, but a very impressive 55.8 touches per game, 0.2 key passes. His accuracy throughout the league season is more than impressive with 30.4 with 78%, with 82% of that, 15.2 being in his own half and in the opposition half, a 73 with 15.3. Accurate long balls, of course, as I said, and as the site itself more or less mentioned, the main weakness of the player, with 36% accuracy, 2.1 per game. Cheap passes, cheap passes, it's 1 per game, 48%. The accurate crosses is 0.1 per game with 100%. Now, the more impressive and the more important stuff, given that we're talking about CDM, 2.1 interceptions per game, 3.6 tackles per game, possession won in the final set, 0.1, balls recovered per game, 6.4, which is an insane number, dribble pass per game, 1 time, which is, again, very impressive, clearances, 2.9 per game, no errors leading to shot or goal, but a penalty committed, which is okay. Successful dribbles is 0.7, 69%, which again pointed it out earlier. He has very good dribbling for a 20-year-old CDM. The total duels won 6.8% per game, over 50%, 55 to be specific. 54%, it's 5 per game on the ground duels, and 1.8%, 57 on the aerial duels. Possession loss, 11.3, fouls per game, 2.3, was fouled 0.7 times per game, with 8 yellows in the league. Now, to move on to the cup, we won't really have to go far because it was one appearance, and in that one appearance, he shined more than ever. There hasn't been a clearer player of the match in a while in something outside of Olympiacos that I see. Of course, 8.3 rating, that incredible goal, and some some very very promising stats as I did read off earlier. In conclusion, with me hoping that everything went well and that I informed you in my way as best as I could. We're getting a very big investment for the future and someone that, if he stays here, could be our pillar in the midfield for the years to come. We'll see you all soon. I hope you liked the new setup, even though the small blip we had, which thankfully fixed fast. And can't wait for this announcement and everything else to proceed. Thank you all so much for your unconditional support, and I hope you like everything upgrading more and more. See you soon. Thank you.